Good evening, everybody. Another Monday night here in the Shenandoah Valley. It is currently 82 degrees outside. It's been a kind of an overcast day today, and well, we got a lot of rain yesterday. So we had a river running through the backyard yesterday afternoon. We got about an inch of rain in less than an hour. So it came out pretty good. I mean, for the most part. So, in bees a little bit on Saturday. We had a good class Saturday at the store on treatments, and I got sent a picture today from a gentleman that we know, and it's a picture of Veroxan and what it did to his frames. So I'll show that here in a little bit. Hey Nancy, how are you tonight? So I was in bees Friday as well, Friday afternoon. Yeah, everybody got a little bit of rain. I didn't get any today, but it threatened it all day today. So I know that there's a big storm front moving up the I-95 corridor for the weekend. So up in the northeast corridor, y'all are going to get some rain tonight and tomorrow. So hey Roy, how are you? Hey Kathy. Nancy, you work bees very early today. Yeah, it was a warm day outside again, and heat wasn't bad. It was the humidity that was kind of bad. So, but we all got through it. So, how's everybody else doing tonight? Sweaty. Hey, I like that one, Roy. Sweaty. That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before. So, I'm gonna graph again this weekend. Drop some more bees cells and see what they do. This will be the last time I graph for the year. I had a issue with the last set that I dropped. They built comb all around the cells. And then of course the cells didn't do too well after that. Hey James, how are you this evening? So it's been going to be an interesting week this week. So it's supposed to cool off a little bit. We got a chance of rain all the way up through Wednesday. So we'll see how it goes. Tell us about the Veroxan. Okay. Well, you twisted my arm. So I'm going to share a picture of it. And then that way we can, well, I don't want to move that one. I just want the picture. Let me see if I can figure this one out. Share screen. Share the screen. Yep, there it is. Share. See where that finger's pointed to? That Veroxan burned the comb all the way down to the foundation. And all those empty cells at one time, the message that I got with this picture was that they were all full of brood until the Veroxan was put on the hive. So I've been saying for a while, you got to be careful with the Veroxan because it'll burn the wax and the brood up that it's in contact with. And evidently it got enough of the brood on either side of it too, because if you notice right in there on either side of where the Veroxan strip was, there's nothing there anymore. So, yep, that's what Veroxan will do for you. So, yep, Nancy. And Charlie said he got a storm this afternoon and he has no electricity right now. So I imagine he's going to be on his phone listening to us. So Nancy, did you get that? On the Veroxan, did you see it? Yeah, so the other statement that came in the email was he'll continue to use the Veroxan, but he won't put it down between the frames. He'll lay it on top of the frames. So, anybody on here, or anybody that uses Veroxan, yep, Pennsylvania, it took the comb all the way down to the plastic foundation. And on either side of the strip, you see that there was no more brood there, and it should have been capped. So there's nothing else there. There's nothing there. There's no more eggs, nothing. So, yep. That's what it'll do. So, no, I'm not saying don't use it, Nancy. I'm saying if you're going to use it, don't put it down between the frames. Lay it on top of the frames. So that's going to be the way to use Veroxan, and don't put it down between those frames. So, and Pennsylvania, it's an acid. It's oxalic acid is a very strong acid. And the purity of it is either 96 or 97%. And it will burn or damage whatever it touches for any length of time. And you're supposed to leave this stuff on there for 40, I think it's 42 days. So, and it came in contact with that wax and it burned it all the way down to the foundation. So, yep. Oxalic acid is an acid, and it's in its name. Oxalic acid does the job it is supposed to do, and it holds that number. Well, you got to look at it like this, James. It's sitting on top of the frames anyway. If you want to burn your brood out and your wax off your frame down to the foundation, that's something that when they put this out, they either didn't tell us everything or they didn't know it. So, yeah, Bob's putting it on top of the frames. Hey, Bill Lee, how are you tonight? And Bob says he gets it. It works just as well on top of the frames as it does down between the frames. But he won't do that anymore because of the results that he had from this one. So, hey, Joey, Mark. Yeah, you could get the same thing with wired wax. And I haven't had or seen any pictures of corrosion on the queen excluders yet, but I'm sure it does happen. I'm very sure it happens because being an acid, it's going to work on that metal. So you got to take all that in consideration with the treatments that you use, right? Hey, Tar Heel, how are you? So Charlie put out a new video this week, and I watched it today. It was a pretty good video. He was comparing 21st century bee frames to acorn bee frames. So that was a good video, Charlie. You did a good job. Hey, Mike, how are you? Yeah, I already know what I'm going to be pulling. So yeah, I got my work cut out for me this weekend. So hey, Randy. Yep, it's going to be a challenge this weekend pulling honey. So how much honey you think you're going to get, Mike? Finally filling up. Yeah, Nancy, you're going to get a good honey crop now, aren't you? How much honey you think you're going to get? How much honey you plan on getting this year, Nancy? Some, never enough. Yeah, you're right. We all get some, but that's never enough, no matter what it is, right? Never enough. So, but like I was saying, this weekend was a good class, good treatments class. Uh, Most of the treatments classes you go to here, especially in Virginia, they um, they do not do any hands-on. They do not demonstrate their use or anything like that. So we went through chemicals, how they work, when to use them, what to use in certain times of the year, especially went over Formic Pro, low humidity, low temperature. And then we went outside. Everybody put their respirators on. So I demonstrated the vaporizer with oxalic acid in it, blew some smoke. We opened up Formic Pro. Everybody got to look at it. Everybody got to handle it with the proper PPE on. Everybody had gloves on. We opened up some thymol. Everybody got a chance to see what it looks like. And when I was explaining to them that you have to cut that 10 in half if it's above 77 degrees, now everybody understands why it's so hard to do it that way. So they got to actually see it in it was pretty hot Saturday, so everybody got to see Apogard in its almost liquid state. Then I opened some Veroxan up, a small package of it, and everybody got to see that and feel it and put their hands on it, see what it looks like. We went over how to use that properly. And then I had bought some Hop Guard. So everybody got to see Hop Guard and what it looks like and what a mess it is when you use it. So they left with some nuggets. Everybody seemed to enjoy the class. So, yeah. So anybody else got anything they really want to talk about tonight? Yeah, DC, it went really well, and I was pleased with it this time. So, and we got another one coming up in July, the business of beekeeping. So, and then August is going to be fall and winter management. So it'll go a little bit deeper into treating, getting your bees ready for winter, all that good stuff. So let's see, how many classes have I done this year? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. September will be 8. So, yep, 8 classes, 9 classes, because it was two grafting classes. Yep, 9 classes. And then October. Yeah, that's a good idea to do next spring. Yeah, that'd be a good one, Brian. Yeah. So October starts, first Tuesday in October starts my beginners class. And I've already got a bunch of people that are interested in that. New beekeepers, they want to retake a class. So, yeah. And they get hands-on time in that as well. So, and then next year we'll move into some more advanced topics during the summer. And maybe I can get Charlie down there teach again. I'll let him teach one of them. He's a good teacher, good educator. Shake, shake, shake the mic. That's right, Roy. It is mic check time again. DC, did you bring me any coffee? I could use a pot right now. Peabody, what have you not used? Veroxan, yeah. I mean, for what it does, it's a good product if you don't put it down on the brood. If you put it down on the brood, I don't know if you saw the picture I showed earlier. I'll show it again here in a little bit. But it's not conducive to putting on the brood, put it that way. So, Mike, you want to come on here and talk about your new website, so we can all get it firsthand? Hey, Clay, how are you tonight? So, Mike is going to be launching a new website with online ordering and a 20% off sale Wednesday through Sunday night. So that's this Wednesday through this coming Sunday, right, Mike? So he's outside counting supers right now. Yeah, that would be good if you come on in a few minutes when you can there, Mike. And that way we can all talk about it. So you only had 2 supers that they capped, Clay? Mike, that'd be great. Anything you can share, that would be great. Yes, you can use Veroxan with honey supers because it's oxalic acid. Hey, Mike from Central Illinois. How are you tonight? No, 2 queen. Okay. I'm thinking of old terminology for supers because we always called them caps, and you said they had 2 caps, 2 that were capped. So, all right. It's on JW. I hate to say this, but it is. I can look it up and tell you. So Veroxan, dosage. Ah, it's 1 strip for every 5 frames of bees. JW. 1 strip for every 5 frames of bees. So if it's a 10 frame, it's going to be 2. And if you got 2 brood boxes, you're going to have 4. Hey, backyard beekeeping. The frame feeders that I carry, Joey, are mother load, and they do have the ladders that are in them. They're made onto the lids. The whole top of that frame feeder is not open. It's just a square on each end that is open, and there's a ladder that goes down in it, so they can go down in on the ladder and come back up. We do lose a few bees, but it's not like if you had a completely open feeder there. Those squares do not fill up with bees. I guess mine have been using them long enough, Joey, that they've gotten used to coming back up there out of there after they get a drink. You know what I mean? Because some of them, some feeders, you'll see them piled up in the screens and drown. And I know the man lake feeders with the holes and the ladders, those holes will fill up with bees because they don't try to get out of there. So, but the mother load feeders are pretty good about it at it. And, you know, it gives them plenty of room, and bees can get down in there. It's a 3-sided set of ladders. So, you know, they are nice. They are really, really nice, Joey. And they last. They're heavy. It's a heavy plastic. It's not a lightweight feeder. It is a little bit heavier than the man lake frame feeder. Yeah, if you put thin syrup in it the first few days until they get used to it, you're right. They settle down after a few days. JW, that's on the package, and I can't find. Let me see if I can find it, or let me see the label. Here, let's see what I can figure out here on the label. Here it is, the EPA product label. The active ingredient is oxalic acid dihydrate, which is 18.42%. Inert ingredients is 81.58% for a total of 100. As far as grams, milliliters, it doesn't say. And I'm looking at the EPA label. It just gives you a percentage. Let me go look at the regular oxalic acid label for Veroxan and see if that gives me any. No, all that gives you is a percentage too, JW. So I'm sorry I can't help you any further than that. I really can't. Let's see. Anything else that could possibly? Who has a DIY video for strips? Let me see. And I'll put the link up when I get one. How about that? Fox and Hound video has a pretty good one. So I'm going to post that link. All right, the link to Fox and Hound's video is posted. Yeah, Roy, but what he's making, you're not supposed to be using. I can tell you that. Yeah, and that video for Cayman Nancy has been pulled down. EPA made Randy go back and pull all that stuff down, and made Randy put a statement on his website that using his sponge method and his shop towels method is illegal and it should not be done in the United States. So that was part of his punishment, so to speak. Yeah, you're right. The problem was he was mixing it with glycerin, and it got to, and glycerins can become in an unstable state when you mix it with the right things. And it was, the concentration of oxalic acid was too high, yes. And he let the recipe get out. So that's why the EPA pulled his experimental double E permit and shut him down. So that's what happened. And he got shut down on that 2 years ago. What's going on, Gary? Yeah, you're right. Don't ask, don't tell. Well, if you do the math on the 18%, you can come up with it. So, how many of y'all going on vacation this week? Does everybody want to see that picture again? Let's show that picture again. Let me find it again here. What's what? What are you asking about, Clay? What's what? This? The picture of the this one. That one there, where that finger is, that's where the oxalic acid strip was laying. So all this over here, that brown comb on either side of that strip, that was all full of eggs and catbird. You notice it's gone, and it hadn't been laid back since. So there you go. Vacation, Clay? Yeah, I get 2 vacations a year. One of them's going to Nobby, and the other one is I go to Murrells Inlet, South Carolina over Thanksgiving. JT's taking you to the bee yard. Is that your vacation, Kathy? Yep. Hop Guard does it too. You're right. Good enough. It does. JW, I like that. You're going on vacation in your honey house. Yeah. 30 years. You need a vacation, David. Yep, you're right. On top of the bars. If you're going to use those strips, put them on top of the bars. Hey, Todd. How are you tonight? Hmm. Hey, Bundy. How are you? So, what else has been going on in the beekeeping world for everybody? Yep, it's almost time to take honey. Almost time to take honey. It's too hot to be a beekeeper right now. Then you need to go on vacation, Todd. Come on out east. I'll put you to work. Gary, you're right. You're probably right. And double deep, the strips would help on the top of the top box. Yes, you're right. Roy, that's about the end of your season too, isn't it? August. So Joey's been on vacation. That's a man that knows how to relax. He leaves and goes to a campground for a week. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's a whole lot of grams. Well, let's see. What's it supposed to be Wednesday here? You're not too far from me, Gary. There's Michael from 21st Bee. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Turned off the Wi-Fi so I can maybe get a better signal. I guess it's working all right. Yeah.
So far.
Sorry it took so long. I was getting ready to log on and something stuck me in the foot right on top of a vein, and that really hurts. And these are messing with me, and I had a smoker out, and so I was trying to smoke my ankle, and I realized it probably wasn't a bee. So I've kind of now the bees are interested, and they're all messing with me. So
yep. Oh, he's got smoke. Let's go see what it's all about.
Yeah. Then of course my smoker, apparently when I puff it, I do it with my left hand on the left side, and the spring, I guess, is shot in it now.
Yeah.
So I have to hold it on the right side. So I've got this awkward dangling smoker and throbbing foot and everything else going on.
Okay. So what's your new website going to be?
Same web address. So we've been working on it for a little while. So everybody will be able to get on and actually order online without, having to send in forms and payment links and all that fun stuff. And
yeah,
we're doing a dry run tomorrow to work out some kinks, and then it's going live like for real Wednesday. So let me see. I've got a graphic I can give you if I can figure out how to do it on my phone. Well, maybe.
Well, I guess he didn't figure it out. So he'll be back. So Gary, it's supposed to be 86 here Wednesday. So that's a little bit cooler than 90, right? He's back.
Yeah, I hit the more button and it kicked me out, so I guess I better leave it alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got it up on my my social pages, Facebook and Instagram and all that. So there's a code on it. It's going to be the word launch. Doesn't matter if it's capital or not. Any way will work. And starting Wednesday, if you stick it in online, 20% off all the way through midnight Sunday.
Cool.
So I'm going to do it that we want to get some more traffic to the new site to test it out. So, that's a good way to test it and let everybody get a little discount, and try some stuff out.
Yeah.
Man, I got a bunch of mosquitoes back here. Jeez.
That's what you fired that smoker up. That's what draws them.
Well, I'm a mosquito magnet. I already sprayed myself down twice. Man, if I go out anywhere, they find me no matter what. I've just always been that way.
Yeah. So Charlie you saw Charlie's video, right?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I put some of your frames in a hive too. I didn't compare them to Acorn. They seem to be thriving pretty well on your frames, and they drew them out. Right now, all of them are full of brood. So they did well, and they're using holes in them. So
yeah, I mean most of them, well, all mine and like everybody that's gotten a hold of me and sent me pictures or videos seems to be the kind of the same way. They're going right to them. Doesn't matter what size frame you have in the brood chamber. All the holes, the center holes are staying open like all the time. I noticed in the supers with mine, so my center holes stay open, but if I let a hive get too cramped for space and don't get another box on in time, they start getting twitchy and they'll start to fill that center one in just because they're desperate for room.
Yeah.
They still left the corners alone. So I've just taken a Sharpie marker and popped the holes back out, and they leave them alone after that. So, but I've had a couple of hives do that. Just I didn't get in them soon enough, and they're efficient and they had space, so they used it.
Yeah.
So,
but they do well. I mean, I'm happy with it. Now, like Charlie, yes, it does add a little bit of weight to the box. Even, the empties, it does add some weight to it.
Yeah,
So,
figured it's a little over 6.5 pounds to a deep, and adds a little over 5 to medium, just in
yep,
dry weight. So,
yep.
I
But
mean,
I mean,
if
if
you're
you,
doing if your hobby, it's not that bad. But if you're hand moving 40 or 50 in a day, by the end of the day, you'll probably notice it.
yeah, give you a little bit better workout.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I need right now in Arkansas. We're hitting 95, 98 out of heat index every single day right now. So,
Yeah, it's next week. It's supposed to be in the 80s, high 80s here all week, and it's not supposed to rain again until 7th of July, and that's not much of a chance that day. So,
yeah, we're off this year. So here at the house, I'm going to pull some honey this weekend. I don't really want to, but I'm out of boxes and I need more space.
yeah,
But we're usually going into a DERF now. Usually, I've had rain at my house 4 times in the last like 9 days.
wow,
All my Vitex just opened up last week, which they're really behind. So I've got just Vitex, my Vitex, I trim them to let them go more like a big tree size. I cut out from under them so I can ride the mower underneath and not hit my head and all the bees.
yeah,
But they're just covered in them. They're still pulling in nectar. I've had to throw boxes on. I'm just running out of space right now. So I'm
yeah,
not sure. I'm not sure how long they're going to go. We've had enough water here. I mean, we could stay and have a nice dry week for a change.
yep.
But
But
my problem.
the rain here has helped with the crops, so
Oh yeah.
I can't complain about that at all. So
Here, my problem is it's been so humid trying to get them to cap honey.
yeah,
Yeah. And I
yep,
don't really want to pull and have to do stacks and fans and try to dry it. And so I'm going to hope when I get ready to pull this weekend that it's good enough.
yeah. I checked a super honey one day last week, and there was 3 frames in the middle that were capped.
Mm.
The other 7 frames in the box were sitting there open. So I said, well, let me check one of them. 18.5% moisture.
Man.
And I checked one of them that was capped. That was creeping up between 17.5 and 18.
Mm.
So that honey should never have been capped,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In all these years, I haven't bought a refractometer. I usually, if I don't wait, a lot of times mine will be all right. I just do the old fashioned sling test on it. I do it when it's not like hot in the middle of the day. I'll get out and do it at like, 6 in the morning just to,
yeah,
just to see when it's a little bit cooler and try it out. But, usually if the frames, if it's like half capped and I can't sling it out, I'll call it okay. But
yeah,
I'm not going out and selling it to a whole bunch of people or anything too. So like I say,
yeah,
I don't really want to pull supers right now. I mean, I could conservatively pull a good 18 back here, easily just to free up some space. I mean, that's probably going to be my limit. If I don't have to pull that many, I won't. Just because I'm drawing out frames and building up hives in my backyard. So
yeah.
yeah, and
So
my rush.
your bees still bringing stuff in?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They're bringing it in just nonstop. I checked the frames. What's today? Monday. So Friday, I checked them out. New frames I put in last week are getting drawn and getting things put in them.
Mm-hmm.
I filled all my feeders up with just plain water, just because my water source that's usually up here, it's gone now. They blocked up some waterways and redirected some things, and the little frog bayou by my house isn't a bayou anymore. It's just a dirt patch.
Wow.
So I filled, let's see, I topped them off Friday, and I just looked at them a while ago, and most of them have used half to 2/3 of a pint jar of it that they've
Wow.
taken out, used for cooling or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're bearding like crazy. I mean, I got bees
Of
pouring
course
out
they are.
everywhere.
Yep.
But, 'But,
So
I've been
how's
running.
that hive from
The Hive IQ.
Hilco,
Oh, the
Hilco and Hive
Hilco.
IQ. How are they doing?
The Hilco one, it seems okay. I checked it. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks ago. So same deal. It's well insulated, but man, my bees are getting hot in it. So I actually went ahead and opened up. It's got front and discs, a disc on the front and the back of every box. I went ahead and opened up the front and the back of the top box to a little bit of venting, just because the vents in the lid, the feeders basically block out all the space. They don't really vent the hive; they just kind of vent the feeder.
Yeah.
And I usually don't vent hives, or I use those plastic Bee Smart tops that have that really small just amount of passive. It's not like a big hole.
Right.
So I went ahead and opened those up, and you could tell I opened up the discs and there were bees in the holes trying to fan out of them, even though they're closed solid. So as soon as I opened them, they were already there trying to do something about it. But bee wise, building out wise, everything looks good. It's gotten a little lighter. UV's gotten to it a little bit more already.
Yeah. How about the Hive IQ hive?
Hive IQ, I don't know what's going on with it. So I think it's the bees. So the 365 from Hilco, those are my bees, my small cell, from my stock. The Hive IQ are standard bees. I just got a nuke from my buddy just because I wanted to make sure the bees are all standard size for those frames.
Yeah.
I cannot get them to do jack. I'm
Really?
thinking it's just the bees. I may pull those out and put one of my little small hives in it and just see how they take off. Part of it's because I can't keep them fed very well. So they didn't have the top feeder when I got it. So I put a frame feeder inside of it.
Yeah.
I hate frame feeders because I have to get down in there and to feed them. So of course I'm not keeping them filled up nonstop. They're running out every few days and I'm not getting back in there and filling them up. So I just said forget it, and I pulled it out last week. Got me a Boardman feeder, rigged it up through the front slot, just kind of jammed it in, cut a piece of wood to take up the filler space to reduce the entrance like the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start feeding them that way since it's a lot easier for me, and just see. I'll give them a couple of weeks and see what happens. But even just the frames inside of it. So all my other ones, I didn't really hardly feed them at all. And, they foraged and picked up and took right off. I don't know what it is. It's got to be the bees. They just don't want to draw frames out. They really don't want to lay. It's a new queen, but I mean, like I say, it's not my stock, so I don't really have anything to compare it to,
Yeah.
But yeah, so right now they're still in the first deep box. And I've only got, and so I've got I think 3 of the wood ones that came with the nuke, because some of them they were just starting to draw them. So I just pulled them out and put mine in while they're going to start on it anyway. Pulled out the feeder, put some more mine in. I had to take 2 of them out to get the feeder in there in the first place. So now it's got a solid 9 on the bottom, and they're kind of working on it. I stuck a medium box on top of it and pulled some frames of food off some of our hives and stuck up there just to give them some extra resources.
Yeah, that might kickstart them too. You never know.
Yeah, it's just compared to everything else. I mean, I've had my own queens that I've raised, went out and mated, put them in brand new empty stuff, and they're already a deep, a medium for brood, queen excluder, and a filled super on top. And these I can't even get these to draw like the bottom deep out. So
are they Italians?
No, well, no, they're from my friend who's an official like Russian breeder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's where I got my original stock from. So I mean, all mine are some type of Russian mutts now. His is like pure Russian. So that's why I think there's got to be something wrong with the queen or something happened. I don't know.
Yeah,
because I've never had one look this bad, and you can tell they look bad enough. It's not like from the hive setup. It's got to be something with the queen.
Yeah.
Or just, me being Russian, they're conservative anyway. So me not keeping feed on them consistently may have really just completely shut her down. Mine shut down pretty heavy in the summer when the dirt hits. I'll go down to just a couple frames of brood all summer long before they flare back up in the fall. So me not feeding her consistently may have messed her up, and they may have thought it was severe drought time and just shut her down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that much about the Russians, but I know they're supposed to be prolific with their honey and prolific layers. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. When they kick in, they go, but when things get dry, they just shut it off, which is really nice. 'Cause I usually don't feed in the summer at all, and I don't really feed in the wintertime for the most part. As long
mhm.
as I leave them here in this part of Arkansas, I usually leave them, whatever's they've got around the tops of their brood chamber and one medium, and that pretty much gets them through the winter almost every time.
So
I
they're a conservative bee in the winter.
Yeah, they do the same thing in the wintertime as they do the summer. They just shut it down and just keep a little patch of brood and like nothing else. They just backfill honey around everything. So you can open up a hive like on a really warm day, like in December. Like, we have those like 60-degree days, and it looks like there's absolutely no brood in it whatsoever. There's just like nothing.
Hmm.
That's just how, or at least the ones I've been breeding all these years myself. That's what mine look like. I don't know if that's standard for the breed or not, but from my chunk, my genetics, it is. Um, so
Yeah,
I usually put like I'll make a feeding block I'll put on top, or I'll mountain camp just because I'm paranoid and I'm always worried about that one winter that they're going to run out, and
yeah,
they basically never do. I mean, they hardly ever touch it
yeah,
until this last year. They skipped an entire box of honey and went straight up to my dry feed, which is weird. That just never happens. Um,
yeah.
I still don't know why they
It's,
did. I don't know why they did that. I never could figure it out. They just first time in 13 years it's happened to me.
huh,
So
wow.
anomaly. Usually
Yeah,
I take
because here I lose brood from between the middle of the end of November. I lose brood because it's all hatched out.
mm,
I don't see brood again until the middle of February.
mine usually don't really start. Mine don't even start trying to brood up until late March into April.
Yeah,
So generally my rule with my bees is I don't, unless I have a reason to go look. The latest I look inside of them is maybe 1st of November, and then I don't open them again until at least April 1st.
yeah. I'm I'm in them at least every other week in the winter. Yeah, just to open them up and look at them to make
Yeah.
sure they haven't eaten all their stores. If they do, I throw some fondant in there, and then middle of February, I'm putting pollen patties on them,
Mm.
and that kind of kicks her off until gets her going, gets her starting to brood up, and then 1st of April, I got bees that are ready to work.
Man, yeah. Usually, say when mine brood up, I guess that's a Russian thing. They brood up fast. So
Yeah,
when I look in about April 1st, they're starting to get moving, and then usually by the end of April, they're spilling out everywhere, and I've got to start splitting.
yeah,
Roughly.
yeah. Because some of mine are Italian, most of them are carnies. Some
Mm.
of mine are Italians, and the Italians like to wait till the last minute to do anything.
Yeah,
So
I've had Italians. I've never had carnies before.
a carnies, if you think the Russian is that on a scale of 0 to 100, the Russian would be at 100. The carney would come in about 75,
Mm.
and then the Italians 50 or below.
God, I hate Italians.
You're not the only one.
I don't. I don't have the time to manage them right.
No.
Basically, they
Yep.
always, they're always running out of space. They're a pain. I did that for
Yep.
about 3 years and just did never again.
Yep.
So,
So, but the carnies I have, they build up quick in the spring. They're ready to work come April 1st, and they pack a load of honey away all summer long.
Hmm.
And then when the dearth hits, soon as it's over, she's laying winter bees, and she builds up her winter brood, and she shuts down middle to end of November, and don't hear a peep out of her until February 15th. So
yeah, it sounds like they shut down like Russians. They just get started a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I start them a little bit
Oh
sooner
yeah.
because of the pollen patties. So that's going to make her want to lay and build that brood nest up quick.
Yeah, we get such weird weather here. I'm glad mine don't get started earlier, and I try not to kickstart them too quick. And we've got Arkansas weather, so we could have ice tomorrow, and then 3 days later it could be 75, and they'll brood up too fast, and they'll get like 4 days of 15 degrees, and just it's all over the place here.
Yeah, and then it gets chilled and everything else.
Yeah, we usually have 2 or 3 like false springs. It seems like every year.
Yep.
We've had mid-Aprils that we've had snow on the ground. Just you never know.
So I had silver maple and red maples blooming this year into March. It got cold, froze them out, and then they rebloomed again first week of April.
Man, I haven't had a pear in about 4 years. Seems like every year, as soon as they bloom now, we get a hard freeze.
Yep.
Which I found one by accident mowing the other day. I was driving around the mower, the little low hanging branches. I just drive through them. Yep. Something hit me upside the front of the forehead like a baseball. Turned around and looked at it, and it was a single lone pear that made it. Just dangling there. Like, rock hard. I was going full speed and just slammed me in my forehead.
Yep.
I didn't have a hat on or anything. It just squared me up.
Yep.
So thought the neighbor kid threw something at me.
Yeah, and then of course the locusts bloom every year here lately. Every time the locusts come out and just start to get out, they start opening up. We get a couple heavy rains and washes the locusts out. So, but I got about a week's worth of locust bloom this year.
That's good.
So that's something unusual around here that we get. So
I'm hoping with all these flood warnings we've gotten over and over for the last 2 or 3 months, I'm hoping we'll actually get a goldenrod bloom this year. Haven't had one in about 3.
Yeah, you might.
So usually I usually get a good bumper crop of goldenrod because that's my preferred honey. So I pull it and bottle it, and people around here will buy it up like crazy, so you're not used to seeing it.
Wow.
But here in the stores you can't get dark honey. It's all just everybody's spring and summer mixed together. So you start giving them like black looking honey that smells real strong. And like I say, I don't really hardly sell it anymore though, but when I have it, it goes quick.
Yeah, I planted 1.5 acres sunflowers.
Get away from me.
And I've got 50 pounds of buckwheat seeds. I'm gonna plant next spring instead of the sunflowers. So because the buckwheat will just keep going all summer.
Yeah,
it'll drop itself and come back.
That's like my Vitex. I got them from a buddy of mine years ago. Once they start blooming, everything else around them can be dead, and they just keep on blooming and putting nectar out. Yep. So my bees will hit them for months and months. Yep. At least have that to bring in.
Yep.
So, yeah, trying to decide. I'd say I got to strike a balance between opening up space, and if I get too much honey, I don't know what to do with it. So, if I got 18 supers and I actually pull them all, it's like I got to dig buckets out of the trailer and clean stuff and just.
Yeah.
I do. I've had a lot of people asking me about how well the hot knife works on the frames. So I don't even use hot knives. I had to go out and buy me a hot knife so I can do a 1-minute video on a hot knife on a frame. So.
Yeah. Now the thing I found out about the hot knife, it works really good unless you let it get too hot. Then it boils the honey as it's cutting the capping off.
Yeah, I didn't get one with a thermostat either. I just got a preset, plug it in.
Yeah, they'll get hot. They will get hot.
Yeah, I realized I've got to rig something up to set it on, and say use it enough, let it not get hot, and then I remember why I usually don't use heated knives. And
yeah,
and
then you unplug it and walk away from it and leave it sit. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to ruin it or not. It's like I want to use it a little bit, make a video. Kind of curious how long I can sit it on a frame before it tries to melt into it. But then I'll have melted plastic stuck on it, and I'll probably never get it off.
Yep.
So I'm like, So it depends. If I use it and it's like and I like using it. I may not do that, but if I use it and go, it's a pain. I may just sit it on a frame on a time lapse and just let it go to town and see what happens.
Yep. See what happens to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at least if anybody asks if it melts, I can say, yeah, after 11 minutes or whatever.
It'll melt that frame.
Yeah. That's a lot of this year. I've been buying a lot of stuff I don't want that I'm never going to use again just to make videos and pictures.
I find myself doing that too. So I really do. And it gets expensive,
Yeah, it does. Especially, I started registering for more shows, fall shows, state shows, and shows next year.
Yeah.
Man.
Are you coming to Nobby?
Yeah, I'll be at Nobby.
Okay.
Let's see, I'll be in South Carolina here in about 2.5 weeks, and their state show, let's see, the Georgia state show, Tennessee state show, maybe Louisiana show. I don't know if I'm going to work that out my schedule yet. Pretty much have a show a month until about November. Then, yeah, the Nobby and the Midwest show and Tom and Melissa's show. That all stuff starts up in January and February. But
yeah, I guess Charlie's still going to go out there with me in February, but
oh, y'all going to go?
Yeah, we're going to come out. If he's still coming with me, if he's not, I'm coming. So
yeah, tell him to get up off his butt and come out.
Yeah, he was on here. I don't know if he's still in the background lurking or not.
Yeah, it's on my phone. I can't see anybody's chat, so yeah. I can't see all the mean things people are saying about me.
No, nobody said anything mean yet. Put it that way.
I say now's the time. I'm not ever going to see it, so fire away. Yep. Man, apparently I didn't spray bug spray on the palms of my hands because that's where all the mosquitoes are going. Of all places.
Yeah, of all places for them to go to the palm of your hand.
Right where I'm holding the phone, they're landing right in front of it and going at me.
Yep, and in the middle of the night, it'll start itching in the middle of the night. Then you're scratching your palms all night long.
I still got to figure out what got me on the vein in my foot. It wasn't a bee stinger, but man, I pulled a little stinger out. It didn't really have a venom sac on it. There's something on the ground. It hurt. And it hurt. It hurt like a bumblebee sting, like that kind of a sting.
Maybe it was a fire ant.
If it was, it's got to be the biggest one I've ever seen for that size of a stinger in my leg. I pulled the stinger out. It's got a little knot and a little whelp on it. But
hey, DC says you have food stuck in your beard.
Do I?
No.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Messing with you.
That's is it that gray silver colored food that's everywhere?
Yeah.
Like.
Yep.
Hey, it used to all be one. It all used to be one color about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, mine used to be one color too.
Yeah. Then I started designing and trying to make a frame, and then 5 or 6 years later, now it's here. I got my frame, but I got all the white going on now.
It's all that stress.
That's why I wear hats a lot of the times. There's getting a little bit of thinning going on up there.
Yeah, you're like me. You're getting thin upstairs, right?
Getting thin everywhere except my eyebrows.
Yep, and they're growing.
They're hanging on.
Just wait till your ear hair starts growing.
Start? You mean keeps?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I say there's nothing really going on out here other than just got to pull some supers and make some room, figure out the bee problem with the Hive IQ. So
yeah,
the only thing I have, I mean, I've got like a bottom, a top, just random stuff. I have that Apame, their 7-frame hive. It's got that divider for making queens. I've got it empty right now, so I may pull those standard size bees out of that Hive IQ and stick them in that, and move one of my other hives over and see what they do, just to see. Kind of giving up on getting good pictures of the standard size stuff. I got a couple already, so I mean that'll work. Just so that hive's not a complete loss this year.
Yeah.
And then they still can't figure it out being in my normal hive with a box of honey on top of them and a feeder in front of them.
Yeah. So you run all mediums, right?
Usually I do. This year I had to put deeps on everything, so everything out here except maybe one, I've got a deep and a medium brood chamber with a queen excluder on top of it, which is new for me too. I usually don't do that. Oh, my neighbor's burning a lot, and lots of their ash and stuff's falling in my bee yard. That's nice.
That's not good.
least it's green out here. They have something on fire. So there's a lot of it.
Yep.
They like to make bonfires that are way too big to start a fire, and they can probably hear me, but I really don't care. So
There you go.
But yeah, so I don't know. After I extract, I may just get back to normal. I may pull all the queen excluders off and do what I normally do, just to let her free roam, so I don't have to worry about space. But it all kind of depends, you know. I'll see what the brood looks like, see how much space they need, what they've got. I'm actually going to take a 3-day weekend and do bee work, so I'll get up early Friday morning while it's a little cooler and go through everything and make a plan of what's getting pulled where, and you know, I have to.
Yeah, we're going to start pulling honey Friday morning and get it all pulled here at the house Friday. And then Saturday, I'll pull what's left at the store and extract. Saturday, probably Sunday too.
Man, part of the reason I don't want to pull more than I have to is I'm still using my same old used 4-frame electric extractor. It's tangential, so yeah. So I really, yeah. The last time I extracted, I'm like, I'm gonna limit. I made a couple stacks in the garage. I'm like, I'm getting ash rained all over me over here.
Yeah, Roy says throw that pear at your neighbors.
Yeah. But yeah. So I pull my boxes. I stack them up in the garage, put a lid on top. I put them in a couple of tubs. We've got some plastic tubs we make it work. So I fill them up with water and I put some wood blocks in them. And I set my stacks of boxes on top so ants can't get to them. Because I've got sugar ants are really bad where I live. And I'll come back that night, open up the garage door, kind of twist all the boxes to open up all the corners.
Yeah.
And then I'll turn on the headlights of my truck for what little stragglers of bees are left. They come out, go outside of my truck, and I shut the garage door. And then I stay out there all night long until I'm done. So if I actually pull 18 boxes worth, 4 frames at a time tangentially, I'm not going to get done probably that night.
Tell me it's an electric extractor.
It is an electric one, thankfully.
Yeah.
Up until about 3 years ago, it was hand crank. So, I keep saying I'm going to buy myself a 9-frame radial max amp.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Because every year they get a little bit more expensive, and every year I go, I could wait 1 more year.
And, I've got an extractor sale going on.
Oh, it's like, but I've got this one in the garage that works.
And the prices include shipping.
So it hasn't burnt up yet. It's like, it's like I'm like every other beekeeper. I mean, I make stuff and sell stuff, but I'm still a poor beekeeper like everybody else.
Yeah. So. Well, everybody's poor, but you don't want to. Why take all night when you can do it in half the time?
That's me. I don't really sell honey anymore, so I'm gonna have all this honey in buckets, and it's gonna sit around a while.
Yeah.
Last year, I think I ended up feeding a lot of my honey back, so that's why I may not extract all of it this year. Just don't have to put it back. I water it down like 1-to-1, put it back in jars, and feed it back in. Or if I'm making comb honey, that's a good way for me to make comb honey. I'll take real honey, water it down half and half, and just slap feeders all over my hives I've set up for comb honey. Mm-hmm. And they'll draw and fill it quick, and I know it's real honey. It's not sugar water.
Yeah, that's good.
Price per pound, you get a lot more out of it that way if you've just got the excess and nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Man. If I spontaneously catch on fire, you're going to know why.
I haven't seen any embers coming down on you yet.
Yeah, they're coming right in front of me and all over the yard, and big old black cloud coming this way. I ain't able to get rid of some of the mosquitoes for me, though.
There you go. Maybe. Especially if you spontaneously combust.
Yeah. Beer to catch on fire. So yeah, it's like the frame stuff's been putting along. So like say we've got the website thing going, picking up some new dealers. So I've got a new dealer outside of the Houston area in Texas, Winding Creek. They're a little bit north of Houston. I've got a lady in Tampa, guys in Russellville. I went down and visited while I was at the Texas Beekeepers clinic.
Yeah.
Went down and visited the guys at the Bee Supply in Texas. All three of their stores are trying my stuff out now. I'm playing with them. Got to meet their people. Went down and saw the Houston people. So I'm trying to get around and see some stores, add an extra day to my travels just to get around and meet people and see what's going on. So other than that, just making inventory, trying to fill out stuff for shows, trying to figure out now how big a booth spaces and all that stuff, because all the big shows are starting to register now.
Yeah. Nobby starts registering tomorrow.
Yeah. I registered for the Midwest show today.
Yeah.
Everybody's putting everything out.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
Good.
So yeah. So other than that, nothing interesting going on. It's that time of year, nice and boring. Pull honey and watch everything dry up and die.
Yep, you're right.
So, well, all right. Well, I'm about to start breathing in lots of black clouds, so I'm going to shut it down and go back in the house.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on and letting us know about your website.
Yeah, it's like if I could figure out how to send you that graphic, I would, but on my phone, it's weird. I'll go inside and hop onto the laptop. I might jump in the background and see you an image without actually getting on real quick.
Okay, that's fine. Have you got a dealer in Virginia yet?
Nope. Still looking.
We need to talk.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot me a message or.
Yep.
I don't know if you have my number or not. I don't remember if I sent it to you, text or whatever.
Yeah, just text it to me.
I'll have to find. Trying to think. I don't think I have your number. Maybe you've got it on the email. I'll go back and find it.
So I don't know if Morris is asking you this or me this. He wants to know if I sell boxes with frames, or do you sell boxes with your frames?
I don't sell boxes with mine, so that's the only bad side. It'd be nice and simple to put 10 frames in a box and sell the whole thing. But I'm not in the box making business.
Queen Bee is looking for black frames.
No black here.
Okay.
No.
So Tiny Creek, yes, I do.
Large number of frames. Oh, okay.
How big of an extractor are you looking for? So Queen Bee sent this because I thought he was asking me.
Oh, so all right. So the frames, the color is size specific. So the tannish brown is the standard 5.4 only. Blue's the drone only. The yellowish color is small cell only. That way, when you pop your lid open, you know exactly what's in there. And people have been asking about the black. And the reason I don't do black, a couple of reasons. First is because everybody has black, so I want it to look different. Just plain and simple, stand out differently. But a lot of people have told me that, when you're, especially here, if you're in the hot sun and you're working hives, you stand a black frame up against your hive. It absorbs heat so fast, it gets kind of soft and drippy down here in the south. So that darker tan color tends to hold up a little better to heat like that. And it's dark enough that you should be able to graft off it just fine. I can look at mine. It's dark enough. I don't have any problem seeing the graft. And since standard's the most common, I gave it the best color for grafting.
He wants to know if you're ever going to have black.
Nope. Probably never. The problem is the way our molds are built. For me to change even change a color of a frame, it would probably take, the last time I flushed one out, I probably ran material that went straight in the trash can for a solid 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to buy the food grade black coloring, and I have to buy a minimum 250-pound drums of it.
Yep.
And I only use 2% color to get the darkness I need. So I would have to run tens of thousands of frames to even use it up. And it's just, you add all that together and it's just not worth the trouble for me. Same with the drone frames. You know, everybody asks, why are they not green? You know, it's like want them to be different, just a different color.
Right.
And I do, you know, I try to get a lot of people to try them as supers because they work really well.
Yeah.
But when you see that green color, the only thing you ever think of is drone. So the blue you can kind of think of as a multi-purpose. But you know, everything we make like that, it's all some type of a custom blend, custom order, massive quantities. So it's hard to do in lots of different things. Just, you know, if somebody would come along and say, hey, I want to order 10,000 frames and I want them in hot pink, I could get the stuff and do that. But unless you're buying up enough to, you know, justify me buying all the raw material, I'm not going to do it. So anybody out there, if you have a sideliner operation and you want thousands and thousands of frames, I will get any color you want made, but you have to buy them all. So I'm going to make you sign something and pay for half of it up front, and then the half when they ship. So at least if you stick it to me, I can pay part of it off.
There
and
you
give
go.
away a bunch of hot pink frames at Nobby like other people do or whatever. But yeah, it's one of those. I can make anything happen. If you want black, you can get enough people to buy thousands and thousands of them. I'll run them in black as a custom. But yeah,
Yeah.
some of the stock, like a black, it's a stock color. I could actually get it in smaller quantities, just because like our yellows and blues, those are custom blended Pantones I picked, and they have to do them in the right materials. Black's so standard off the shelf. I'd have to do the math. I think you'd have to order. It wouldn't be a crazy number. You probably have to order a couple thousand, 2,000-3,000 probably, I would say, to get in the black. Where other colors you might be talking, you know, 2-3 multiples of that. So, you know, it's pricing that stuff, it varies. You know, it's a petroleum product, so what I ordered plastic for this morning will go up 3-4 cents a pound tomorrow afternoon, drop again. Whatever it's at when I buy it, I'm stuck at it no matter how long it takes to get. So
Okay.
So
I'll keep that in mind. But yeah, you and I need to talk.
okay, yeah, I'll find your email. I've got your email at work. I'll find it and shoot you a message and give you my numbers and all that stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, man, that works.
Okay, so I'll hop off. I'll see if I can. I'll hop on the laptop, see if I can shoot you that graphic real quick before I forget about it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
And then I'll put it up on my Facebook page and my website as well.
Oh yeah, I can probably just send it to you through Messenger on your Facebook page, can't I?
Yep, you sure can.
Yeah, I'll just do that real quick here in a minute.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Well, that was interesting. That was really interesting. I'm glad he came on here. So everybody knows he's having a sale that runs Wednesday through Sunday, 20% off. That's a good deal on those frames. That's a real good deal on those frames. So, yep. So does anybody else have anything good to talk about? I don't know if Charlie's still on here or not. Tom, are you still on here? How's things going in your bees, Tom? You still taking honey? Still working on that? Hey, Philip, how are you tonight? Hey, Dot House, how are you tonight? I didn't get to say hi to some of you because I was talking to Mike. Good night, Nancy. It's past her bedtime. Yep. Yeah, everybody's thinking about the moisture right now, Tiny. So, yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets any better, I think. Hey, Tom, how are you tonight? Yeah. Tom hadn't been in his bees since early last week. He was sick part of the week, markets over the weekend, pulling honey in a couple weeks. Hey, Tom, great bed people? You mean bee people? You fat fingered the key, buddy. Yep, Bundy, how are you tonight? Uh, so what's the weather out there, Tom? Is it getting any better? All right, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Let's see if I can get that flyer up here now. He doesn't want. Why don't you want to extract honey, Tom? I know it's a mess, but still, you need to extract honey. You know? Let's see if I can get Mike's flyer up here. Let me see, make sure it's downloaded. Let's redo that. Let me do that again. There we go. There's his flyer. Can everybody see that? There we go. 20% off promo code is launch. It ends July 6th at midnight, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So everybody got that? There you go. Let's hope so. If not, it'll be on my website and it'll be on my Facebook page as well. So you can look at it there. And let's support Mike. Yeah, he says his old site is down for right now until tomorrow evening. So might want to keep that in mind as well. So Tom, you're only going to get 20 pounds of honey this year on your out of your hives. What happened? There he is. You must have got power back, Charlie. You there? I can't hear you.
Yeah, now I am.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep. There we go. It's on my Facebook page. Mike's sale is on my Facebook page if you're interested.
What is it?
Mike's having a sale on frames, 21st bee,
Okay.
20% off with the promo code launch through midnight Sunday. His site is down till tomorrow evening.
Yeah, we just got power. I don't know. What time is it anyway? I thought it was 10 o'clock.
It's only 9:30.
I guess my clock's off.
Yeah, a little bit. So you've been busy?
Yeah, today was a lot of some deliveries, and it's been hot and miserable. And hey, Tom, Melissa. Hey, that's great. That's great. Finding a venue for our popcorn Charlie pizza party.
Oh,
Todd.
she might have found a venue.
Might have. Hey,
Well, that's great, Melissa.
Oh, and all that. Commercial guy parked 35 pallets away, a block away from where he is.
Yep.
So his bees took it all.
Yep.
Or Melissa, we could have a food truck.
There you go. That would be an idea. Have a food truck. If you could get one to come out that time of year, that would be great. What's the venue, Melissa?
She ain't figured it. It's not. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I spent we got a bunch of orders done, and
Tom found.
got a bunch of orders done and doing a lot of billing and calling and letting people know they got their stuff done. Hey, Chad. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Chad, how are you tonight?
So, got all that done, and I was trying to figure up another person's. She wants a price,
Yeah.
Then electric went out, and that was the end of that. So, it must have rained here for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And I mean rain hard.
Yep.
And lightning and a lot of thunder, but not a real. It was more of a straight down hard rain instead of a lot of wind to it. Some wind, but not much. I worry about the wind more than anything else.
No, I didn't. We didn't go there on Thursday evening.
What's that?
to Beaks and Brews that Matthew held on Thursday evening during Nobby.
That the wine thing? I think it was at the Moose or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I went there for a little bit. I stayed for a little while, and then I went to the, what do you call it, Pies for Heroes thing.
Yeah. It was mead tasting.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
Honey wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had somebody. She kind of got tipsy, I heard. Wasn't Melissa, though. One of them drunk fights, you know?
Yeah, really.
That's what it was. So, got all that done. Finally got some electric here and be able to cool things down a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure it got a little warm in the house, didn't it?
Well, the main house here at the mill doesn't really have central air, so I got a window in the bedroom areas, and I just put another one out here where everybody else is, just to kind of knock the heat back.
Yeah.
I would have put it in earlier if I'd have known, but so I don't know, just kind of waiting for another window of opportunity to cut the rest of that hay.
Well, they're supposed to cut mine this week, so I haven't seen them yet.
Well, they said Wednesday's like definitely. I'll take your blue Carl. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just got to get my honey spun.
Yeah. I haven't pulled any yet. We're going to pull it this weekend.
I got to get set up. The guy that helps me, he dropped off a roll of rosin paper he must have had. And it's just been, I was out there, let's see, Saturday morning. It was overcast. I'm like, man, this is just right. I like this. I'm going to take it, do a video and do all this other stuff in the thing. As soon as I get out there at 1:30 in the afternoon, here comes, the clouds go away and we got this blazing heat and sun.
Yep.
And I mean, it just, penetrating type bright sun.
That was the comparison video you did, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I struggled through that to get that done, pushing myself to get it done. And I would have loved to did it the week before. I went in that hive where the 21st bee frames were.
Yeah.
And the ones that you see where the brood was opened up, they were completely slabs of brood from corner to corner, capped over. There wasn't a hole nowhere in them frames.
Wow.
I mean, that queen was really doing a job. And get the starting camera to work. And so anyway, but they had already hatched out. And
did you see the picture of the Veroxan frame I put up there?
I seen one of them. Bob Benny showed that same thing on his Sunday video.
Yeah, that's
and it. He says the ones up on top of the frames are from Canada. It's a different brand or something.
I don't know, but he sent me that picture.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
He's been putting it on top of the frames.
Yeah, he puts it on top of the frames. Yes.
Hey, Todd, I mean, instead of spending all that there freight money, you're coming out to Nobby. Why don't you just wait till Nobby and we can exchange then? You know, save you some money. I mean, it's expensive to send. I mean, I think it was $16 or something like that to send a darn 1 pound bottle to California. And it's about the same amount of money either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if he's trying it out, it's like, okay, then who sells the stuff? Can you get it in the country?
That's the question.
You know, is it because he's under? Okay. Well, you have to wait on me a little bit. I want to send you some of my good stuff as soon as I get it extracted.
Yeah, Todd, he's going to send you the premium stuff.
Yeah. That there blue curl is just like locust honey, I tell you.
Really?
It's some kind of a desert plant out there. It's good. When I had a sore throat and whatever, I got that blue curl bottle out. And I used that. Chug-a-lug-lug.
Wow.
So I did that. Sold 3 queens. Sold a box of bees. A nuke. I had a guy that had bought a nuke last week. Same guy came back, got the second nuke. That was my last deep frame boxes that I had left on the line. I figured I could sell it more money than just, selling the frames.
Yeah.
And couldn't find that darn queen for nothing. I had got what it was. I had, what was it? That hive in particular, I had brought that, I had shook all the bees off those frames, put a queen excluder on to get all that brood hatched out of there and cycle that box off. Then he said he wanted a second hive. So I went through the hives, found the queen, put her on that deep frame, put the queen excluder underneath of her. So all the bees would come up, populate the top box, and she laid up everything. She had eggs. She had really super young larvae and stuff like that in there. And I couldn't find her for nothing. Didn't have her painted, but I said, she's up here. I know she's up here. So anyway, I said, here, take it. I said, I know she's there because I sequestered her a week ago. And I said, well, if he sees eggs, I said, but I'm like, Mike, every frame's got solid full of eggs and larvae. I said, she's there.
Yeah.
So anyway, got rid of all that. I had a lady coming in today this evening to get 2 queens, but obviously the rainstorm. I said, you're going to have to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, the electric's out, the lights are out, the trees are down, all that stuff. There's some flooding going on here in my area and all that. So,
yeah, see, all that went around us.
Yeah, for some reason, I got some new glasses. I don't know. These are my regulars. For some reason, I got these new readers. Well, they look about the same. It's like here's a spot here and a spot there, a little teeny on the radar. Then all of a sudden, it all just kind of just exploded over around Towson, top of Baltimore, and then came right across over to us.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all the way up to the 95 corridor. Night's supposed to be severe weather.
Yeah. The storms follow 95.
Yep.
We've had it here. We baled hay in the 95 and 40 corridor that's side by side, the storms just train right up through there.
Yep.
I don't know why. And all that. So anyway, I was looking about grafting, and of course, today's Monday. That didn't happen. So I think I got about, well, let's see, to get back to my story. I did that video. I sold 3 queens, got that nuke ready. And in between there, I'm in the truck, getting cooled down, waiting on people if I got too hot.
Right.
And then I went out there trying to look at my mating boxes, and it was just too unbearable. So I quit. And I guess that was about 4 o'clock or so, something like that. And I don't know. Let's see. I came into the house and got cleaned up and just stayed in the air conditioning. And so then I went out there Sunday morning, and I went and put a queen in the hive that I had sold the queen out of. And then I went out and I surveyed all my mating boxes. And there were some of them that were, there was no bees in them. They either flew the coop or whatever. Some of them I had a couple mated queens in there, and I had some of them where I must have put a nice frame of brood in there, and it was really nice bunch of bees in there. I think that's my big takeaway when it comes to setting up a 2-frame mating boxes, to put in a good solid pattern of brood and a frame of brood in there, and that way it'll hatch out and those bees will stay there. And so anyway, I dropped a queen, and I think there was 5 of them I dropped queens in. Some of them, the bees were a little bit lacking, but hopefully it'll work. And I got rid of the oldest batch of queens that I sold that day, the Friday, Saturday. See you later, Roy. And so I had 15 more queens in the rack, and I used quite a bit of them for myself. And then I got these 2 that are going out. I think I still got about, I don't know, 7 or 8. And I'm looking at, I had one guy call me up today. His cell service was terrible. I could catch about every 3rd word. And, same situation. Well, I never put a virgin queen in before. I'm like, well, learn a new, technique and all that stuff. And I don't know, just he didn't know what he was going to try to find a mated queen. I said, well, good luck. I don't know if anybody around here has got them.
Mated queens?
Yeah. Not in Maryland. I don't know where they got. I couldn't understand him. His phone service was so bad. I didn't even know what he was talking about when he first called me up. Then I heard queen, and I said, okay, you're looking for a queen. And I said, you need to get somewhere so I can hear you. I just couldn't understand him. Hey, Jeremy. So what do you got left?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm. You got anything left?
I put virgins out today to Mark. Sent him 8 virgins, and he should have those hopefully Wednesday morning early. And then I've got some more virgins. I've got to get mating nukes get mated. I'm gonna graft again Sunday, and drop those. That'll be my last graft for the year.
Well, do you think there's enough drones out there right now? Or
Oh yeah.
Are they
Oh
diminished?
yeah. Yep. There'll be drones around till middle of August, at least. So
I don't know whether to, I'm looking at my sales, and I don't know whether or not to graft another graft or not.
you'd probably be safe doing one more if you don't wait, till the end of the month.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Today is the end of the month.
No, I'm talking about the end of July.
Oh. I thought about it. I just I don't know.
Typically,
it's just my biggest thing is it has just been so horrendously hot.
Yep.
That I can't, go through some hives to find some nice grafting material and do all this finite beekeeping.
Yeah.
To the where I am just like, I can't, it's like I want to get it over with so bad because I'm so miserable, because of the heat. And all that stuff. So I don't know. This heat, if the humidity would get out of here, I might be able to, do something. But
yeah, that's why when you graft wet, DC. I've got royal jelly that's been harvested, and you just put a milliliter in a syringe, and you just put a drop in the bottom of it and lay that larva down in it, because it's going in the same way it came out. It's not rolling over, so it should be fine. That's why we graft wet.
You've got a good point there, because when there's no nectar source coming in, you're going to find a lot less jelly in them.
That's true. That's why you graft wet this time of year.
So anyway, like I say, I got rid of my last 2 nukes forever, I think.
You think?
Yeah, I'm definitely, I got to get something to drink here. I'm definitely out of the, what do you call it? The nuke business for sure.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Yeah, DC, that's right. There's going to be less royal jelly, so we graft wet. So yeah, you did come back to a new grip, didn't you? How you been, Carl?
There we at? Now we're, I don't know. I got these new reading glasses, and I like them better. The old ones. Seem like to me the new ones have a little more, they got more strength about them, because I got new regular glasses, which I definitely needed that.
Yep.
Where I could clarity for distance and whatever, like, reading a tape and it's only 4 feet away, and I'm like, what is that? And I got to break. Oh, that's 8,
So I built some mating nukes over the weekend, and they turned out pretty good. So I finished 15 of them.
Yeah, that was another thing I did everybody thinks about, we're continuing on, it's summertime, it's hot and humid and miserable. And I'm like, okay, I got a bunch of brood combs sitting here that I've been, swapping out and back and forth and all this kind of stuff. And, the honey season's over with as far as I'm concerned. And I said, okay, I gathered all that stuff up Saturday, I guess it was. And along with a few empty boxes and things. And it all went into the freezer for safekeeping and all that. And I don't know, things are looking a little bit more organized out there in the bee yard. But like I said, back to the same situation. It's so miserably hot, you just don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And when you are working out there, it just drains you so bad.
Yep, and it drains you quick too.
And quick, and it's like I just can't go any far. I just can't go. Hey Matt.
Hey Matt.
I just can't go anymore, and I'm done,
Yep.
So
you're right. It will work on you.
It just gets to the point where it's like I don't want to go outside,
Yep.
Type of thing. So I don't know. I talked to my son today. He went down and baled straw Sunday for the guy that helped us. Well, the guy that bundleized our straw last year, he works with him pretty close. So they took the Baron down there, and I think they were running 2 of them, try to get the straw bundled up.
Yeah, before rain hit.
Yeah, I think he did 1,000. He did 50 bundles, which is 1,030 square bales.
Mm-hmm.
Agritier came down and fixed. There was a spring on a part where I call it the shovel. They call it the packer arm or something. Wasn't right, and it was not the right spring.
Yeah.
Somebody had robbed it. And so they replaced a flow meter on a sprayer. And I called up there and told him to bring down that ISO-bust monitor, put it in that tractor. I said, that's my present to you. So now I can see what the monitor will show me a picture of that machine, and I know what's inside that machine and how many bales are in there and all that stuff.
There you go.
So he was talking to the rest. We got 25 acres of first cut and still sitting there waiting for a window. So he's going to talk to those boys down there, and we need. My son sells those big 3x4 square bales. I guess they are, or 3x3s, whatever they are. And the other folks have storage. My problem is here is storage, and so anyway, I think he's going to get them to roll in here and big square bale. We thought about round bale, but big square ballot, and he said, and of course, that new unit, for a pin hitch for the baler on that Massey, it's got like an eye, like on a 3-point hitch, one of them roll around things, and they put a bolt in there for a pin hitch. Is what they from the factory do, and I guess because then it doesn't drag any hay too, and you can unhook the tractor, but there's a little more involved. So he was saying that if they get him to come up there, he can cut it and bale it, and we would rake it and ted it. He's got one of them tractors that I think it's a John Deere, but he's got a mower in the front and a mower off to the right and a mower off to the left, and he can cut 60 acres in a day or something like that with that thing.
Damn.
Kind of like a crone. You ever see one of them crones?
Yeah. Yep.
No, this is
crone.
I think this is a John Deere model. I said, whatever knocks their socks off, I don't care. If they want to do it all, that's fine with me. So, get that cut down. And what he's trying to do is make sure he has storage for square bales with our machine for second cutting. But he went down there and worked Sunday, and he made enough money for either a barrel payment or almost a barren payment.
Wow.
So,
So they didn't roll them into one loan?
No. You have the barren loan, which has interest on it. And Massey said, "Oh, if you buy a brand new baler, we'll give you 0% financing." So it's like, that's a no-brainer there. So, and then didn't I tell you that? We got up there.
Yeah, you did, but I would have thought they would have made it one payment. You know what I mean?
I guess not.
Wow.
I mean, it was like almost $9,000 or $10,000 in interest. And I'm like, well, heck, I'm also take that, and they said, by the time I said, add $6,000 to it, you got the same amount of money they want for a brand new baler. And I'm like, why am I putting money in some bank's pocket?
Yep.
And I'm like, I can take that $9,000 or $10,000 and put it towards, I'll pay that towards a brand new spanking machine.
Yep.
So that's what we did. So Massey, we rolled in the sprayer and the baler at 0% financing for 4 years.
There you go.
And I went and looked at a Massey website, the company website.
Yeah.
Up until the 25th of this month, there was 0% financing for 4 years for anything you wanted to buy from them. Tractors, sprayers, balers, anything. And I'm like, if somebody's, looking to buy stuff, compared to the other brands, it's like, 0% versus whatever else these other guys, pretty hard not to go that way.
Yeah, I went and looked at a 145 horsepower Massey tractor.
That's a tier 5 Massey?
Yep. It was nice. 13-speed transmission in it.
Mm-hmm.
13 forward speeds and I think 9 reverse speeds.
Like I say, you watch your eye, keep an eye on it. They can get them financial. I mean, it's only for 4 years. I don't know what that payment would be for,
Let's put it this way. It would take me longer than 4 years to pay that tractor off.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
For the payment that they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
So needless to say, I don't have a red tractor sitting here.
So anyway, but that's how that deal worked out. Like it. So he looked out on that. But anyway, that's what's been here as far as beekeeping goes. It's just been horrendously hot. It's been so hot that I can only do a little bit of work in the yard, and then I'm out of there. I can't do it. Now Saturday, if I wouldn't have had to work at the mill, I would have had all that had a lot of that work. I'd have had a lot of work done Saturday morning and not did anything Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Because it was overcast. It would have been great to do a video. I could see my camera better. I could have got into the mating boxes and, like Sunday, went through all the mating boxes. Everybody got their juice jars filled up and things like that, that, they had food, but, definitely need some juice. Put all the different, I took, got the different queens and put them in there. And I'm canning release them now because I got a JCB. It was a brand new JCBZ queen candy cage.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen some? You get one that's a nice firm one like they normally are, And then
Yep.
you get one that's it's all flimsy, kind of
Yep.
light colored. You might as well take them things and just throw them in the trash.
Yeah, they
Because
made those at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
yeah. Well, I got in there and I'm trying to pop the plastic cork open to put attendance in for this lady. And it's like it wants to tear apart, then open up.
Yep.
And I'm like, the heck with this. I'm tired of this. So I had another candy cage there that had candy in the tube in my pocket. So I got I have a queen muff. And I said, okay, these girls have been in here. These girls are ready to fly.
Yep.
And sure enough, I got in there and I'm trying to get her to walk in from one thing. She's going to take off. Well, she hits the screen, and I finally captured her and stuck her in that new candy cage. But thank goodness for that queen muff.
Yep.
And since then, I mean, once they're a week old, everything has been, their body is ready to go.
Yep.
And
You're right.
I got a little screwdriver there in the truck, and when I give them a new queen in a candy cage like that, the candy's been in there for a while. I'll kind of open that face of that candy up to make sure it's soft. It's not hard. And here lately, because it's been horrendously hot, that candy is like I just made it. It's not gooey, but it's soft. And so anyway, I just been putting the candy cages and let them candy release. And
Yeah, I put marshmallows in mine.
Yeah, Matt.
Including-
Mark Miller was saying to get some mini marshmallows.
Yep.
And make them stale. Let them sit out stale, about half stale.
Yep.
And then stick them in there.
Yep.
Now you put one in there or two or what?
Just one.
And that'll what? That's maybe a day or two, a couple
That's
hours.
it's about 2 days with one of them. The thing I've noticed on those easy peasy cages, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but the bank that I've got these virgins in, they're building comb over top of those cages.
I've got the JZBZ cages. I had one or two of them that they've been in there too long, and they were putting some comb over top of them. And I had to take a screwdriver and a little nail and just kind of pick at it, real gentle while she's down in the bottom and not catch her feet or anything like that. I had that frame. I put the frame in on the easy peasy cages. Now they would make a big loop of comb above it, but not on the cages themselves.
Yeah, I pulled it out today to check on them, and because the ones I'm sending to Mark, I've got in JZBZ cages, but the other ones are in the easy peasy cages, and they're building comb on the cages.
But now, how are you storing them? I mean, I guess my situation is that I go in, I do my graft, take my graft out, take it to the incubator. You don't really have to do it now, but I do. I always take used to be, people say, you had your graft in there. You went in there after they were capped on day 6. You get there about day, I don't know, 14, something like that, about 2 days before they hatch.
Yep.
And I would, what would I do to that time? That's when I would take the cells out and I would put them in a mating box. Well, then you'd have all that burr comb and bridge comb between the cells. And I'm sitting there taking a razor blade, trying to cut that stuff out and not break it. And guess what? You're going to break it. I don't give a darn what
you are. You're going to break it.
You're going to break it. I said, all right, I'm done. That's when I made my incubator up. So now them cells get out of there. They're not putting bridge comb in.
Yeah.
And they go into the incubator. That's when they go from the hive to my table. I put the comb or the cells in the easy peasy cages, put them on his little tray thing there, put them in the incubator. They stay in there for about 5 days. I'm either going to put them in the hive 2 days before they hatch or Friday morning or something like that, because they're going to hatch on Saturday. And put that frame in there, and they'll hatch out. You know, by the time I look at them, which is Saturday afternoon, they're all hatched out. And I pull that frame back out, take them back to the house. Then I get the girls out. I got my candy cages all set up. I get a hold of her. I mark her, put her in JZBZ candy cage, and I got the little orange strips. Now, what I do is I just let them, I put that strip on top of the frames, and the bees come up and feed them. And I use leftover and pack it in tight. Works well.
Yeah, I don't put the marshmallows in them until the customer's standing right there. That's when I put that time release cap in the easy peasy cages. That's when I put that in, and I hand them the cage, and out the door they go.
Well, what do? You put the queen in the JZBZ cage. You've had it in there, right?
The easy peasy cage, what I'll do is I'll pull that cup off of there and break the queen cell off, harvest the royal jelly that's left in the queen cell,
Yeah.
and put the cup back in and bank her with the cup on it. And then when somebody buys them, then I come in, I pull the cup out, and I've already got will have just loaded the time release cap and slide that down in the cage and push it down tight with my thumb and hand them the cage.
The JZBZ cage.
The easy peasy cage.
So you're selling the queen, the version with an easy peasy cage?
Yep.
Kind of expensive.
Or the mated queen with an easy peasy cage. And if I'm going to ship stuff like to Mark, they go in a JZBZ cage, and they'll have, half a marshmallow or a marshmallow in it, and they'll be down in the JZBZ bar inside the shipping container.
Oh, okay.
Or they'll be laying flat with the cap on them so the bees can get to them and feed them.
Well, you're shipping a bunch of them with bees in a box.
Yep, bees in a box.
And tenants in there.
Yep.
So, well, what I do is when I bank the queens in a cage, I put them in a JZBZ cage. I put them on that strip, 20 of them or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I didn't notice, but I got the long one, and that goes in a frame, which I didn't know that. And then I had somebody give me one. It was one I bought a guy out one time. He had a little the orange strip. It was like, I don't know, 8 inches long, something like that. Somebody had cut it in half. And I used them. I got a couple of them short ones, and I got a great big long one. And I just put the cages on that and put it on top of the frames, and then the bees come up and get all over top of it. And then I can pick them out when I need a queen real quick.
Yeah.
And I got them loaded up with, I make up my own candy, put it in there, and all that. But
yeah, and I mean, I agree with what Tom's doing, his statement. I agree with it, but I don't put the marshmallows in them until they're ready to go out the door. So,
yeah, different folks, different strokes.
Yep.
I'm basically, this for me, as far as grafting goes, setting the cell board up, what you learned from you, which has made everything else work. And then I got the easy peasy cage. Well, that's a learning or something new that I used that I really like. And I'm getting in. I guess what I'm saying now is I've learned a lot in the very short time of me grafting here about banking queens and how, how I have my procedure to where I let nature take care of the queens from the get-go instead of me trying to squeeze and put food in there and all that other stuff. And it's working out for me. It's my way of doing it, type of thing. So my thing is I noticed here lately, I got a bunch of darn barn swallows around. I'm like, are you killing my queens, eating my queens?
Mm-hmm. They very well could be. Well,
they were flying in the rain. I'm like, where, you're supposed to be inside some building someplace.
Exactly. Well, everybody, I appreciate you coming out tonight. If you enjoyed the chat tonight, please smash the thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe. Keeps us all hanging around a couple more days. And it's been fun. Thanks for coming back on, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just got my power back on.
Yeah. So I'm going to end the stream. And Tom, I think you have a chat Wednesday night with Nancy. And Charlie, are you going to be on Friday night, 4th of July?
Probably. I don't like loud noises.
Yep. Okay. Well, y'all have a good evening, and I'll see y'all Friday night. Good night.
Unless for baling hay or something like that. Yep. But